Hey everybody, my name is Matt. Welcome to James Creations. Just before the video gets started, I'm going to do this really quickly, so hang along real quick. This video is going to be a new type of review that we're going to be doing. It's going to be in a new playlist and everything. It's going to be what our reviews are going to be on and based on for the following, however long we're on YouTube for. So what's going to happen is first we're going to have a section for systems, then we're going to have a section for model, and then we're going to have a section for operations and aerodynamics. These will be based out of 5 out of 5. And an aircraft will get a score based on those and evaluated, and at the end you'll get a full 0 to 5 out of 5 rating of the aircraft and whether you should buy it or not. So anyway, that's squared away. But also to sort of do what we were doing before, we're also going to have first impression videos. But those first impression videos, what they're going to have is they're going to have like pretty much a new flight and just a first flight, more like what we've been doing with our reviews in the past. So I hope you guys enjoy this review of the Carenado Phenom, and please let us know what you think of this new type of review, whether you like it better. It's going to be more concise, and I think it'll be better off to separate the two types of videos. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. The first section that we're going to be dealing with today is going to be systems. As you can see on the screen right now, the aircraft is being, sorry, I'm turning down the volume. The aircraft right now is being prepared for a flight to Abu Dhabi. I'm going to actually skip ahead real quick because it just takes me a while to go through the options to get to type this in. So basically, right now I'm in the cockpit going through the ranges, showing you that. Now I'm going to go into the map and show you the options of the map. I have the terrain here, which shows you the different levels of the terrain. Then we have the topographical map, which shows you, I believe the type, like the difference in terrain. Then there's the airway, the high airways, the low airways, and which is a very good tool actually to tell if you're on the right airway. Then there's the traffic, which will pop up soon enough. Then I'm going to take them off so you can just focus on the traffic now. And there you go, zooming on the range so you can see all that traffic. You can get quite a bit of traffic if you zoom out far enough. So now I'm going to move over to the PFD, which is primary flight display. Now in the primary flight display you can see all the options that are given. So first we'll go back and we'll go into the nearest airports, which you can see there. There's just timers, references. Back to the nearest airports so you can actually see them. I accidentally clicked out too quickly. Then we have the transponder options, in which you can just insert your 4-digit squawk code easily, efficiently. Here is your CDI, which is our input source for our autopilot, which can either be GPS or whatever you want it to be. Then we have the inset, which just shows a little bitty map of basically what's going on, and then that option which changes what is shown on the mini-map. It's really actually useful if you don't want to look over to your MFD and you're stuck in that view. Very useful. Back over to the systems, in which we can see the aircraft systems. Not only systems as far as avionics, but just systems in general. As you can see, we've already gone through the hydraulics, electricity, the engine. As you can see, the electricity here, and then the fuel systems, and last but not least, the ice protectors, I guess. I don't actually use them in this video because I'm actually in Dubai during this clip, so it'd be kind of useless. But moving back now, you can see there's a lot of detail within these avionics. These avionics have a lot inside them, and they're very useful for pretty much anything. When you enter this aircraft, you first see it as a very light jet, but if you just get into the cockpit and start flying it, it doesn't feel like a very light jet. It feels like a heavy. It feels like you're flying something that is really advanced, really very advanced, just advanced systems. Now, moving on, here's a checklist, which is something that I have not seen in the previous versions of the G1000 by Carenado, so clearly they've been doing something to improve it. And very useful these are. I'll be using this in the first impressions video that I'll be putting up later of this. And this is pretty much wrapping up the system section, in which we will go into an overview at the end. But as you can see, this is very detailed. It goes through every single stage of flight. and they're very useful. So, like I said, this the systems make it seem like it's not the actual aircraft that it is, and I like it for that. I appreciate it for that. Systems, I like to say that it's a very systematic focused aircraft. It's not one of their one of their prop aircrafts. It's a different type of aircraft that I think is very new for Carenado, and I think it's very positive, and I like it a lot. So I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 for systems. They might not be the most advanced. They might not be the most accessible or usable, but I definitely think that they are a step in the right direction, and I definitely think that they are a good, definitely a generally good aircraft. So I would like to give it a 5 out of 5 for that. So now on to modeling. It's going to include the exterior and interior model to show just the quality that's been going on with Carenado. So we're going to be starting off with the outside views. You can see we're cycling through the outside views right now. They're very abundant, giving you a really wide range of availability if you want to do filming or cinematic views with this aircraft. Very good for filming. I tried to do a few of them before, and they worked out quite nicely, and you'll be able to see them later on in the video. Now we're going to be going into the aircraft. As you can see in the inside as well, there's extreme variability with your views. If you look at the modeling of these buttons and these things, they're incredible. They're incredibly detailed. This is a little bit of a short clip just so that we can minimize the length of the video, but as you can see, just the quality inside the aircraft is phenomenal. Here's just a little options for setting the aircraft ready for taxi, cold and dark, or nothing. So now, out in the outside of the aircraft, as you can see, we can open the passenger door, we can open 2 baggage doors, as well as we can put on the static elements of the aircraft, such as the chocks. You'll see them in a second here. So really, very large functionality with this aircraft, and I think that it's really the modeling of this aircraft is of the top notch, and it's something that you would expect from Carenado. They're not known incredibly for their systems, but they're known for their models, and this model is a step in the right direction. Again, it's advancing, and it's fantastic, and I definitely think the model is a very strong part. So, as an overview, like I said, the aircraft is a very strong model. It is very good, and it is top of the line. It's what Carenado has been producing for the past few years, and I think it's, obviously not past few years, but past few months, and every time they do it, it gets better and better. For the first jet aircraft, it's incredibly modeled, and they did it incredibly well. So I want to give that also, for modeling, a 5 out of 5. So last and as a matter of fact, least, here we have the operation of the aircraft. So we're bringing the aircraft right now to a high level of attack, and we're doing a power on stall. And we're seeing how the aircraft reacts to it. As soon as we hit stall speed, the aircraft starts to pull down, but not very hard. That's something I noticed with the power on stall. It doesn't pull very hard. I'm actually able to hold the nose quite easily at a level attitude, which is really what you're supposed to do when we're coming from a stall. So then we come up to a normal climb, and we set ourselves up for a power off stall, in which you are configured in for landing. So we'll put the gear down at some point, get the flaps down.
Check gear. Check
Here
gear.
comes the gear.
Check gear. Check gear.
Now what we'll do
Check gear.
is we will bring the angle of attack up to a critical point, and we will see what happens with the aircraft with no thrust. So this is what we found. The aircraft is much less likely to get a higher angle of attack, and you can go past the stall speed, but then when it hits about 70 knots, the nose will come down violently, and then it will actually not stay. It'll be harder to. You have to apply a lot more pressure to hold it at that even horizon level, which is something very interesting that I found. Then we're going to go on for another one and try to see if we can actually spin the aircraft. Here, we'll get in the view in a second. And this is just a test of the aerodynamics of the aircraft, and you'll see the results quite shortly. So we're going to do what we did before, a normal power off stall. We'll skip ahead here.
Check.
So we're going to do a normal power off stall, but what we're going to do is when we hit the stall, we're going to apply rudder pressure in any direction. So as you can see, we're applying the rudder pressure, and it seems to just fall back down like the stall did in the first place. When we release the rudder pressure, it's going to correct itself like the aircraft would a normal flight, but it doesn't seem to really stall. So what we're going to do is we're going to get back up to our speed and regain ourselves from the stall. And then what we're going to do is we're going to try and recreate that, but to the other side, to see if we can get a different aerodynamic reaction from either side. It's quite possible that could happen depending on the way that the aircraft was coded and created. It's possible that they might have done one side and not the other, but we'll see. So now we come up to high angle of attack with no power, so we're doing a power off stall, trying to get a spin. And as you can see, I try to give a little bit of aileron to try and ease it into a spin, but still no spin. So this is where the aircraft pretty much falls down the most. And I think that as far as the operation of the aircraft, it performs well in turns. It's fun to fly, but negatively, it feels like a light aircraft. It's very, very sensitive, and I know that's kind of dumb to say it's a problem, but it flies like a light aircraft. Now, if you want that, go ahead and buy it, but it's very sensitive. Also, it doesn't really perform stalls. Not stalls, sorry, spins. It doesn't perform spins, which can be a deal breaker for somebody that wants a high aerodynamic realism. But otherwise, I'd say it's a good aerodynamically sound aircraft. I would give it a 3 out of 5 for aerodynamics and operation, just because of those small problems that I found with it. But other than that, it's a great aircraft. Overall, I give it about a 4 out of 5 because the aerodynamics is a huge part of the flying. But overall, like I said, it's a nice aircraft. I would definitely go ahead and pick it up for Carenado's first jet aircraft. I think it's great, and I hope to see them with more jet aircraft, but probably bigger because we don't have any bigger aircraft as far as jets. So, biz jets, that is. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this new type of video from our review section of JNF Simulations, and I will see you guys next time.